What's up, guys? This is Jason from the Jason&Jabari Gaming, and today we have our first war of the season. This is season 29, and I am selecting my team that was chosen for me. So I was selected to take in Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Human Torch, and Shang-Chi. Now here I'm showing a synergy between Human Torch and Black Widow. It's actually a pretty decent synergy, but it doesn't come into play. And then Black Widow has a synergy with herself. So I get my team and I'm getting ready to go in there. I did not select this attacker tactics. I don't even honestly know how to do that. I don't do it the next war either, so I'm not entirely sure how critical that is. But I guess that's something I should check into. So I joined the war, and then I paused for a few moments. I'm not entirely sure what I was doing when I joined, and I just kind of sat there for just a brief few seconds. But anyway, I'm supposed to start off on path 4A, where you see that thing. So that is the path that I'm supposed to be going to. And oh, okay, that's what it is. So I think I clicked on it, but as you can tell, there was a connection issue. So that's what happened. Okay. So anyway, we move up to thing. And for this fight, I will be using Shang-Chi. But first, I waited until I had more energy. And I was also scheduled to take the mini boss. So I waited till everyone placed the pre-fights on for me, and then I went. So I'm boosting up here. I am heavily overflowing in boost. Fortunately, I have several days to claim those. Kabam has been very generous with handing out compensation. So I am utilizing my 3-minute boost. And during the war season, I actually boost pretty big. Normally there are certain circumstances where I won't boost as big as I can, and we'll talk about that when we get to that point, because there will come a point where I don't boost as big as I could for a specific reason, but it's still pretty decently big. So I go in with Shang-Chi on thing, and basically you get debuffs. I'm going to purify my debuffs, and I'm going to go for the special 2, and that's pretty much my strategy. Also, I'm placing slow on thing. You definitely want to have that slow debuff on thing, so therefore he actually doesn't go unstoppable. It shows that he's unstoppable, but he's not actually unstoppable. So I heavy to refresh. And then I'm just basically building up chi strikes, and then I'm going to release my special 2. His protection comes into play, which is fine. We knew that was going to happen. That was a long special 2, which caught me kind of off guard. I was like, wow. But no harm, I was blocking. If he had 15 stacks, he would have been unblockable, but he didn't. And we're just pretty much going to rinse and repeat this cycle of baiting out his special 1, special 2. It doesn't really matter to me, and dropping my special 2, and then building up charges and dropping another special 2, keeping it slow on him. And it's a pretty redundant cycle that I do. There, I thought I had made it to the special 2, and I didn't, so I dropped the special 1. Which was, I mean, it wasn't the biggest deal in the world, but it kind of was like, that's a bummer. At no point was I feeling like I wasn't in control of this fight. So, yeah, it's just a little slow fight, and we're just chipping them down. So we go for another special 2. His protection comes back into play, and I think we'll make it to one more special 2, if memory serves me correct. We should, or maybe we drop them before we get there. So safe fight with Shang-Chi. I really love my Shang-Chi a lot. He is signature 200. He will be my rank 4 when I get the rest of the materials I need. So we're moving right along to Void. I've taken this fight, I think last season and this season so far twice now. It's not hard at all, and unlike Thing, he doesn't have anything to protect him, so I don't think he'll last past a special 2. The only thing is you start with a heal block and then you get those weakness debuffs. So the first chi charge that I go for was a medium light medium, which purifies the debuffs, and then now we can just go ahead and refresh our debuffs. We're going to try to, like I said, make it to a special 2 and hopefully drop him in the process, or at least come close. As you can tell, his health is gone. It took about 35 seconds to do that fight, so very safe fight. Just remember, the first thing you need to do is the cleansing strike, which is a medium light medium, and then you can go into whatever strike you want to from that point. So I had some alliance mate drop some pre-fights on this Maw, and I believe this first fight, I think DLL mentioned in the group chat that there was a bug going around, so I'm playing this fight a little differently. He said something to the effect of if he gains his 20 little, I forgot whatever, and you're supposed to miss, they're constantly gaining power or something to that effect. So he said kind of wait out that timer. So I'm playing kind of passively, not really knowing what to expect, because we had heard some horror stories already. So I'm like, man, I really don't want to screw this up. This is not normally how I play Maw at all. I don't even worry about missing, but apparently I was supposed to be playing kind of cautiously. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in a rhythm of fighting a certain champion, that is the way that I am comfortable with fighting them. So if I try to deviate from the plans that have been working for me, it's hard to adjust on the fly. So I had an invuln boost, but as you can see, I'm just getting smacked in the face, getting slapped. Now he's almost at a special 3, and I'm like, okay, what is happening? But he's just about dead. I just need to survive. I get my last hit, and whew, we barely get out of that one. That is not how you should take that fight. However, again, I was very uncomfortable with fighting Maw the way that I was trying to. So hopefully I just play my game and there shouldn't be that much trouble, because I do not find him hard on that power snack, meaning though I've taken him a lot of times, so it's really not an issue. Here I have a Colossus on the chitinous thorns, and I suggested that I take in Sentinel. I really am a Sentinel fan. I love my Sentinel, but apparently there's some mechanic where if you take in a robot, something happens to you. I forgot exactly what, but this is where Clairvoyant came into play, and the basic strategy is to stay into Blood Curse, which also serves another purpose, which tops me off on healing. What I didn't know was that this fight was going to take a minute. It is a 5-star Sig 200, but she doesn't hit very hard unless she's in her Incinerate mode, which it still would affect Colossus because he's Incinerate immune, so he wouldn't get the actual debuff of Incinerate, but he would take the burst effect damage from the Incinerates. But if I switched modes, I didn't know what to expect. I thought I would bleed out, so I wanted to play it safe. Constantly bait out his special 1. I might push him to a special 2. It really doesn't matter. I mean, both of his specials are super easy to dex, in my opinion, so it doesn't really matter. But I was just playing it nice and slow and baiting out his special 1s, because that will give me more opens theoretically. That's kind of the way that we used to play Labyrinth of Legends back in the day, when we didn't have a bypass parry option for all the veteran players. We kind of learned that you bait out the special 1 because then you have more openings to punish, as opposed to letting them burn up all their power on a special 2. So that was a strategy for this fight. It went relatively well, in my opinion. Not too much to worry about as long as I don't mess up. As you saw, I pushed him to the special 2, but not a big deal. I don't think I did it again. But he becomes a little passive, a little stingy for a second there. We get that baited out. I thought that combo was going to drop him, but again, we're not doing too much damage to him, but we are getting him down. That's just lag from the game, guys. If you've noticed, a lot of my videos have a lot of lag, and that is, in fact, from the game, unfortunately. And I have to play through this. But yeah, he goes down. No issues there. Full yellow bar. And now we're moving on to Captain Marvel movie. I'm going to stay with Claire on this one because Captain Marvel movie takes a lot of damage from Mystic champions in general. Oh, and I also started off with a Power Start 1 boost on that Colossus fight, and it carried over to this fight. There's no need, it's just I'm overflowing in them, and I figured I'd get to a special 2 faster, so that's really the only reason. I don't even use Power Start 1 boost, so I just figured there's no better time than the present, so I just kind of threw it on. That first special 2 pushes her to binary. I get clipped, and she does some decent damage, so my plan initially was to go ahead and nuke her down with the Incinerate. That works, and there's another, skip right there. That's the game. And now I'm trying to get her to bait out this special 1. She's really low on health. She gets me in the corner. I'm not playing that game, so she's no longer in binary, so her special 2 won't stun me. It is dexable, but I haven't practiced that in a very long time, so I didn't want to deal with it. But fortunately for us, we get her down. Now we're on to our last fight for this war, which is a Mangog boss. And yeah, this is where things take a turn for the worse. I've taken Mangog all last season. He's difficult on this node because his special 2 is unblockable, and it does like I think 4 or 5 hits, and with the aspect of war or whatever that is, he's consistent. Every time he gains a bar of power, he's hitting even harder. So at this point, we've already lost the war. It was already decided. So I don't boost as big, and I'm not making excuses. This is just me talking about this fight. So I go for a 10% attack, a 20% attack and health, and a 15% health. So it's not a bad boost, but I obviously could have boosted a little bit bigger. I also opt to go for the invulnerability boost. I always go for an invulnerability boost when I'm taking this node. And I drop my Human Torch's pre-fight onto the Mangog boss. There was one pre-fight already placed on it, and that's a Mr. Reed. I think it was a Petrify. And unfortunately, normally we use Petrify along with power suppression. That makes a huge difference on their power gain. Another factor is I kept dexterity on. That's a catch-22 because his special 2 is unblockable. So if you take dex off, then you're going to eat a special 2. If you leave dex on, then he's going to gain more power, but you can potentially dex some of the hits of his special 2. So that's just subject to how comfortable you feel. And there, as you can tell, boom, look at that. That is with the invulnerability boost. I took 3 hits and I'm still just about dead. The problem with this fight was he was gaining way too much power way too fast. Now he's already back at a special 2. So I'm like, okay, let me throw my special 2. Hopefully I can stall out. Obviously this individual is running max limber, not a problem. I get to a special 1, I throw it, I hold my block, Nope. He goes for a special 3 immediately. I was hoping that he would just come and start hitting into my block to stall for the remainder amount of time, because that could have potentially dropped him. But again, had I boosted a little bit bigger, I would have soloed this fight with no issues. But I didn't, since we had lost the war, I didn't want to waste my big boost, because I do take bosses and things like that, and I think it would be more beneficial to use those in more critical times to where it's not decided, and we do have some close wars, so sometimes we really are on the clutch. So just an unfortunate event. I go in with Clairvoyant to wrap things up. Not a big deal, but ultimately it was a decent war for me, in my opinion. But congratulations to PBT. You guys got us. I think the final score was like 13-6. History proves that our first wars are some of our worst, but we'll bounce back. And thank you guys for stopping by. And War 2 coming soon. Thanks again. Take care.